I've been contemplating how to go over this subject. Um, Basically, it's the fascination of being dumb that we deal with in America. It's two parts of it because there's a political aspect that I notice in maybe those real hardcore uh, Republican white voting base that embrace ignorance. They're proud of it. It's linked to arrogance of being American. And there's another part where a lot of a lot of black people, they kind of cherish ignorance in another way as a welcome distraction from what's really going on with serious issues. Now, I seen uh, Roland Martin. He had a good segment on the political aspects of how there's a white, proud, and dumb. There's a heavy movement, and that's what kind of I feel the Republican politicians, they see it and they harp on it, and that's especially with this impeachment stuff going on, you can see them kind of putting that to use with the way that they're, even though you're getting all these facts about what's going on, and they're twisting it. They're telling you it's a waste of time. They're telling you it's boring. They're kind of reflecting on Trump, Trump reality TV guy or ratings. That you know that you got politicians talking about ratings. It's kind of real scary, but I kind of think about what they're doing. Like it's actually pretty genius if you think about these are highly educated people, but they're they're catering to a base that education isn't really their strong part. I mean, come on, this is America. We even though in the world stage, we're we're not as elite mentally as you could say we used to be, but we still have that arrogance. And the arrogance comes from just that whole we're America, we're better than you, we're so better than you that we don't have to read, we don't have to study, we don't have to learn other languages, we don't have to deal with other countries, we don't have to do that. That's kind of what what you see in the response to. I mean, like I know social media is a big part of our lives, and if you see any, that's where Trump came in, and he lies every day, and he tells you all these crazy things. What you see and hear is not real, and those people grasp with it. They grasp with that because as a person like me, thinking that in America, especially as a black man or a black woman who actually put it to action, you have to be 100 times better. You have to work harder, study harder. You have to do 100 times better than the average just to be successful. And it's funny a mindset of a person who may, hey, I'm dumb, I don't care, I'm white, I don't care, that, and they still have a mindset of socially that they're better than anything you can ever do, no matter how many degrees. You can compare a person like Obama, who literally had to, I guess, he had to somewhat be perfect to be president, but you look at his resume of history and politics, education, Harvard, even his wife, very successful, powerful, educated woman, and you see what we was inspired by that, and then you get the Trump coming in, which is kind of the opposite. No type of class. I mean, he has. I don't know how rich he is, but he has that whole. He gives off that I'm a rich businessman who we got many examples that he's a failed businessman, but The arrogance is there. So that's all they care about. Not the education, not the politics, just the arrogance and the brashness of being that. And he's pretty ignorant too. And that, I feel, comes from Obama's 2 terms as president. And it comes from maybe them thinking that with Obama, and then they see the, I, I would say like something like black women. You see what they've been doing, the moves they've been making. You see black women in a lot of successful places, and it bothers it bothers a lot of white, especially white males. But white males is basically saying the white way, because white women, even though they do fight for certain things, I feel like they still cater to that white male mindset, which is why a lot of white women did go out and vote for Trump. They they cater to the men, so they kind of defaultly support that whole movement. So when like there's a clip, I'll probably put it up. There's a clip of a politician coming and saying, "Oh, the last thing you want to do is send your kids to schools like Harvard or such and such." And I'm just like, and then Roland Martin he said like, "Yeah, if you go look at those Republicans that's saying this stuff, look at them, oh Ivy Leaguers." So why would they be doing that? It's a clear strategy on how. I mean, no, come on, nobody votes, nobody votes by policy. So they vote for, I would say, relatability, but a lot of it is undertone of racism, and I think that's the whole education thing is it's a way that you can hide the whole racist motivation with it's saying it's actually not that. So that's I mean, there's more I want to say, but that's the one part of it. Another part of the whole being American, ignorant and dumb is how we interact with. I feel like there's so much stuff going on in the world that's very important, but I feel like every day we just wake up and everybody just wants to be. They just want to be entertained. They want to go online and they just want to laugh every day, just laugh, which is cool. I know life is tough, but everything just has to be a distraction. It's a joke. Nothing is serious. And if you try to bring up serious topics, especially like what I'm doing right now, there's a lot of people who, oh, he doing that again. It's like they, I feel like we are easy to be hook, line, and sinker now. That when it's true, because we have to be very alert, very knowledgeable of what's going on in this country. And I just feel like a lot of us, we just don't care. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get how you can. Well, let me say, I actually do get how, like they say, those Russians, how they come after black people, and I said, I 100% see it. I see it every day with the. We can get distracted by anything. What is it now? The sex trafficking, white vans. We just pounce on. I'm just like, is it true? Did you call police? Did the police? And even when the police put out reports that it's not really a threat, we don't care about the truth. We still fall into these little distractions, and we just share stuff on Facebook. We don't research. We share fake articles. It's is the most annoying thing in the world where you try to get serious conversations, especially when stuff that hits us, and the first person to try to knock it down or or discredit it is just other, like, especially black people. I just don't get it. I know it's cool. I know everybody, we can joke, but I think we can you know put our priorities in the right in the right order. But I just don't get it, man. Everybody is just. I feel like we just on strings, and we just easily somebody can easily control our mind, our thought process, and it's not going to be good. Like I honestly feel if this impeachment don't go through and Trump going to win again, because the ignorance works in the favor of those people. It doesn't physically work for them because they voted. I mean, whites vote against their, not all, those staunch white Republican Trumpers. They voting against their own needs. But that the politicians, for them, they're going to remain in power. The ones who don't really care for us and they're putting policies in order to thwart us, and they'll tell you that, oh, this is the lowest this and that for black people ever, where if you look by the numbers, and it's not really, it doesn't add up compared to what we previously had in the previous administration, but they use ignorance to benefit them. That doesn't apply to us, but we just love it. I just don't get it. And even, you could say somewhat in our school system, it's like there's so much. If I was coming up in school with all this information at my fingertips and able to research things that I've been told, come on now. So, I mean, it's brief. This video, I didn't know how to lay it out. It's just been bugging me for a while about ignorance and our proud ignorance that we have in America. And it makes you think, like, I know our world, and as being Americans, you live in America, your world is kind of America, and that's it. And if you go abroad in other countries, they see the world is different. They see the world as where they're from, but they also see everything else, how it revolves around them, and how they got to interact. And being ignorant is not one of them. So when you have, West Indians, black people, West Indians, you get Africans, they come here and they are very successful, I believe, because they don't have the arrogant mindset that they are beyond being educated. They are beyond. Now, black women in America they've picked it up, I think, as survival tactics because of our flaws from my first video about black men. And some black men as well, they understand this, but just a lot of us, I really don't get it. I don't get where being ignorant is what's up. Being ignorant is the trend. And in America, it's two sides of it, and it's scary as hell. And being that it's about to be 2020, like, this is technically, remember the future. We thought the future, how advanced we would be. And I mean, there's all these robotics and taking people's jobs, and we have the ultimate tool here, but we're not using it at all. So I don't know. You guys can give me some comments on what you think about this subject, but it's really been bugging me for a while. I don't know. Read, y'all. Read, study, work hard, be the best version of you. And it'll be a much better place if you just be the best version of you. All right.
To say is, if you love America, mamas, don't let your babies grow up to go to Harvard or Stanford Law School.